Hey, what's up? How's it going? Just me dropping a quick Smackdown review. I finally watched the show live for the first time since its premiere. You know, its premiere with the new Smackdown logo and it going on Fox. Yeah, it's a new Fox premiere all the way back in October 2019. I was hyped for the show and it delivered. It was a good show. It is interesting that now they've brought Cena back into the picture, how much of a ratings draw he is. Myself, for the first time in nearly 2 years, I actually watched the show live. And part of that was to do with this whole Cena-Roman dynamic. No matter what WWE and others may try to do in relation to not being as willing to create stars as they'd like to, or as they could, it's the stars who bring in the viewers, particularly the casuals. It's the centerpiece. It's what draws you in. That's why the last time I watched Smackdown was all the way in October 2019, because I knew The Rock was going to be there, and a couple old faces were returning, and you were going to get some big matches. But beyond that, there hasn't been enough for me to be oh, I need to watch this live. Versus, okay, let me just wait and watch the YouTube videos and catch up that way. Anyway, John Cena, opens up the show. He cuts a good promo. He's got the crowd really invested and hyped. I like that. I think we need to just spend a bit of time talking about WWE at Rolling Loud. This one was mixed. I give WWE props for making an effort and trying something different. And it is a clever idea to use that as a platform to reach out to a younger, more hip audience. If you're given that opportunity, you don't say no to it. However, I do think that the WWE kind of squandered it a little bit. Because, you have this audience. This is where I feel it goes back to these writers and creative and even some of these wrestlers being trapped in the WWE bubble. And I see it all the time, even from other wrestling fans, where they think that wrestling is a lot bigger and popular than it really is. These guys still think it's 1999 or even, coming up to the late 2000s. They think it's a lot more mainstream and bigger than it actually is. They haven't realized how far professional wrestling as an industry has fallen. It is just not that anymore. Again, you speak to a regular person now, the last name they may recognize is John Cena. After that, they don't recognize Roman. They don't know Seth Rollins. They don't know a lot of these other names. They might know a CM Punk. It's just not what it once was. And it was a good, a good call to perform, to have your WWE stars perform at Rolling Loud. But if you're going to do it, I don't know, you can't just shop out some of your mid-card and lesser known stars and then just have them go up there and just wrestle a normal match it's just another Smackdown episode. The way they approached it was just all kinds of backwards. First of all, getting stars like Chad Gable and D'Angelo Dawkins, they did decent for what they had, but that's just not going to do it. You need to get bigger names and bigger stars to kind of make the most of that moment and opportunity and to really grab it. They're not going to recognize any of these new stars because they're not watching anymore. Long gone are the days when SmackDown and Raw are doing 3, 4, 5 million viewers. That doesn't happen anymore. They're barely scraping 2 million. These dudes ain't watching it. So you bring out this talent and they don't know who they are. And it's not like these talents in the first place have any particular signature moves or kind of like out there styles to really draw their attention, and they're just kind of like wrestlers for the most part. So that shouldn't have happened. They should have brought in, John Cena, Edge, Rey Mysterio. These are names that like a couple of the fans, a somewhat significant percentage, would have probably recognized from like their younger days of watching wrestling. They would have definitely recognized Rey Mysterio and John Cena. You could have even had like a face-to-face with Cena and Roman Reigns and used that as a way of introducing them to the new face of the WWE. And even if they didn't recognize Roman Reigns, they would have respected the alpha. They would have just seen these two big, mean-looking men just facing off, and they would have been like, oh, this looks interesting. Yeah, let's see what's going to happen here. But when you bring out, again, just kind of regular mid-carders, and in particular, like, I like Bianca Belair, and I think it was a good idea for them to bring her out, but then to go and have her, in this big moment, face off against Carmella? I don't know. Seriously, think about it. This is your big moment to cross over to a new audience. You have so many people in that live crowd watching, so many people around the world. This is a chance for you as WWE to let your presence be known. And then you put all of this pressure and give the ball to Carmella? What? Seriously, what were you thinking? I have no beef with Carmella. She is a decent talent and she has a good character. But she ain't a worker in the ring like that. She's not the one who you're going to put in front of faces to try to really push the needle. She is not a needle mover. Not yet. So they shouldn't have used her. They should have maybe used, I don't even know. To be honest, there's not many of those female talents who would be able to kind of do it, if we're actually being fair. Perhaps you could bring in maybe Charlotte Flair or Sasha Banks. There's a chance they would be able to deliver and put on a good match. People might recognize Sasha Banks. And again, they also have a personality and aura that will command that attention. But yeah, to go and get Carmella, that was not a good idea. Then moving back to the actual live show in Texas, the Smackdown live show. It was, things got back to familiar territory, and, the ball kept on rolling. And yeah, you had a Seth Rollins and Edge segment, which was quite nice. I'll be honest though, I'm not feeling this new Seth character. This whole, embrace the vision, kind of fancy suit wearing Seth, slightly kind of dandy and asexual sort of look and vibe. It's just not, I don't know. It just feels like a shittier version of his 2015 self. I don't know. 2015 Seth just much better than this one. I don't know. He's just doing this kind of cringe laugh, and he's slightly trying to talk in a sort of southern accent. I don't know if you guys have picked up on that. And I don't know if he's playing a kind of southern dandy, it's just not working. Yeah, I was just nah, this is not working. If anything, when it comes to playing those when it comes to playing a gimmick in the WWE, sometimes there's a fine line between, adding a bit of character and spice to your presentation, and then kind of demeaning your presentation, ruining your presentation in the way that the viewer can't take you seriously as a competitor. And when I see the way he's acting, especially when he's in the ring with someone as ruthless and as opportunistic as Edge's character is, and he's acting like that, I can't take him seriously as a competitor. It's just like, no, as a competitor and an athlete, I know he's great in the ring, but the way his character is being positioned and the things he's doing, I can't take him seriously. I'm like, oh, this is the same Seth from 2015 who was threatening to, like, break Edge's neck and, like, completely fuck his whole career and livelihood up. It just doesn't feel like the same Seth, and he doesn't pack the same kind of threat. Then, we got on to the last segment. I know there was a match between Dominic Mysterio and Jimmy. It was all right. The finish was a bit convoluted, too complicated, didn't really work. But then we got on to, like, the true main event, the thing that everybody's been waiting for in terms of Roman's response to Cena. And Roman took this shit to the bank, man. It was just pure gold, just being able to watch this and kind of have a laugh to it. And yes, for the first time in a long time, a WWE wrestler, a superstar promo actually has me laughing, like naturally laughing. That has been a long time, That whole kind of point about missionary position and Cena's same played out gimmick was nice. He just went there and owned the crowd. And this was his first proper promo delivered in front of a crowd where you can see he's interacting and engaging with them, and you can see it's a walk in the park with him. He's got this. Like, we don't have to worry about him kind of choking up and getting nervous this time round when it comes to his rival with Cena. He can handle himself on the mic. And I think in some cases, if Cena's not careful, I think Roman will start outdoing him and embarrass him. I think Roman has the potential to do that. This guy is good. Like, I was just, completely taken in by that promo. Also, side note, that was a funny segment with Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Nox kind of launching the kind of like prop missile into Baron Corbin's balls, That was funny. That was nice. I like Baron Corbin's broke Baron Corbin gimmick. I'm invested in that storyline, and I'm interested to see where it goes next. Back to Roman. He's like, I don't acknowledge you, Cena. I'm not accepting the challenge. Then Finn Balor came up out of nowhere. This could be interesting. I'm not the craziest about Finn Balor, but I acknowledge that he is a decent wrestler and he can put on a good match. However, I hope that he uses this platform and him being thrust back into the main event picture, which hasn't been a thing for like at least the last 2 years, and prior to that, not until 2016. I hope he uses that platform to really kind of show like that he has some kind of character that he can deliver on the mic. Because I know from what I can see with his work in NXT, he can do a decent promo. He's an alright speaker. And he needs to kind of let that shine through on the main roster. We can't be having this bullshit of just this guy going, I'm gonna beat you, and then just like smiling all the time. Like, no, that ain't it if you want to be a main event guy. Like, you can't just be another bloody wrestler who's like good at working matches. WWE has 101 of those, and a lot of them are beginning to get released quickly. You know what I mean? It's the locker room's put on notice, because if in all honesty, if they can release Aleister Black with the way he was and the way things are going with him, they can certainly release your ass, Finn Balor. So you need to take this opportunity in this moment to deliver, to hit your home run and to show people what you're made of, to remind them that you were the first Universal Champion, to remind them about the demon Finn Balor, to remind them about the face of NXT, to remind them of everything that you are. and what you can be. Because as much as I'm not crazy about these, like, you know, move marks and this new generation of, like, you know, wrestlers and wrestling fans who are all about the work rate, I will give you your props. You are decent in the ring. You have a certain kind of intensity and aggression that you don't get from the other wrestlers. You have something. Make it work. Don't choke. Don't drop the ball like a lot of these NXT wrestlers do. But all right, I'm done. Whoever listened, thank you. And yeah, I'm out.